Hello, my name is Tim Mansky, and I'm going to go through an example of finding the vertex and axis of symmetry of a quadratic function and then graphing it. First part is to determine the vertex. We're going to go to a Word document to kind of take a look at this. We have the function f of x equals x squared minus 3x minus 1. There's a formula that you can use to find the x-coordinate of a vertex. And the formula we're going to focus on is this one right here. X equals negative b divided by 2a. Now that's the general formula coming from the setup of a quadratic equation. F of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the general form of any quadratic equation. Now the one in the example that we have here, we need to identify the a and b value. The coefficient in front of the x squared is going to be 1. The coefficient in front of the x is going to be negative 3. So we'll let a equals 1 and b equals negative 3. So using this formula, x equals negative b divided by 2a, we would replace b with negative 3, that's the coefficient in front of the x, and replace a with the coefficient in front of the x squared, which is 1. Simplify this. You got a double negative. Double negative will give you a positive, so you'd have 3. You'll have 2 in the denominator, so you have a x-coordinate of 3/2. Now, using that information here, we're going to write that as an ordered pair. So we have the x-coordinate. Now we got to figure out the y-coordinate. So we're going to go back to this equation right here. F of x equals 1x squared minus 3x minus 1. And what we're going to do there is you're going to replace x with 3/2. So wherever I see an x, I'm going to replace it with 3/2. So on the right side of the equation, we're going to simplify this. 3/2 raised to the second power. That means you take 3 times 3, which is 9, 2 times 2, which is 4. And from here, simplify this, you're going to take 3 times 3, which is 9. So if we look at this, so you're going to have 9/4 minus 9/2 minus 1. We're going to need a common denominator between the 4 and the 2 in the denominator and the whole number 1. Our least common denominator is going to be 4. So we're going to have 4 in the denominator. Multiply it top and bottom by 2. You're going to 18 over 4. And then writing 1 as a fraction, you can write 4 over 4. Order of operations from left to right. 9/4 minus 18/4 would be negative 9/4. And then you have a minus 4/4. Think of it as adding two negative numbers. You end up with negative 13 over 4, which is negative 3.25. Okay, so given all that information, so we're going to go to the next part. Sorry. The next part is to plug that in. So ordered pair, we're going to put the parentheses. We got a fraction. We said 3/2. And the second one, or just write as a fraction, we're going to write 13 over 4, and I believe we're going to make that negative. And then we're going to check our answer. So that's correct. Great. The axis of symmetry is pretty straightforward. It's going to be the same as the x-coordinate. So we write x equals, and then the fraction 3/2. So the work has already been done for you. The axis of symmetry is always the x-coordinate of your vertex. So let's check that answer. Great. Now comes the next part. We're going to have to graph the quadratic equation. Now, it's going to be a U shape. It's going to be opening upwards because the x squared variable has a positive coefficient of 1. So since it's positive, it's going to have a U shape opening up. So there's a button that you're going to press. It's the vertical parabola tool. We're going to click that one, and I'm going to find where 3/2 is. Now we have the luxury of, I don't know if you see this down here. This tells you the coordinate you're working with. Now my x coordinate's got to be 1.5, and my y coordinate's got to be 3.25. So we're going to click on there. Now you have a variety of ways to write your or shape your parabola. The key here is looking at the -1. When x is 0, the y value is going to be -1. So we're going to use the y-intercept of -1 to assist us with the graph. I'm pretty happy with it. Vertex is at 3/2, comma, -13/4, or that's -3.25, and then the y-intercept is -1. So again, just to go through it one more time, yes. Okay. So again, you click on the parabola tool. Remember, my vertex is 1.5, -3.25. So go down here, click. Remember, my y-intercept is -1. That's when the x values are 0. So find the y-intercept at -1. Check my answer, and it is correct. So if you have any questions, please contact me. Again, my name is Tim Mansky, and have a nice day.